still get chills thinking about this day. It happened a few years ago, not long after I moved to a quiet, heavily forested area. I've never been a fan of crowded cities, so the peaceful trails behind my new home were perfect. Every Saturday, I'd wake up early and explore the woods, often recording short video diaries for myself. Nothing for the internet, just personal memories. One Saturday felt different from the start. I had this nagging, uneasy feeling as I walked through the trees. Every rustle made me flinch. Eventually, I found a small, swampy clearing that felt oddly calm. I pulled out my phone and recorded a quick clip, mentioning how peaceful it was and that I'd probably head to the public restroom at the nearby nature reserve soon. After the video, I walked to the restroom. As I stepped outside, a man in a black hoodie, a purple hat, and sunglasses approached me with way too much confidence. "Hey there," he said, like we knew each other. I gave a polite reply and tried to leave, but he followed. He claimed his car was broken and that he needed my small fingers to pop the hood. Everything about him screamed danger. I lied, saying I was waiting for someone. He didn't buy it. Luckily, a couple walked by. I pretended to be an old friend of the woman. She caught on quickly, and the creepy man eventually slunk away, got into a small red sedan, and drove off. The couple offered to call the police, but I declined and jogged home. That evening, while reviewing my hike videos, my blood froze. In the background of the swamp clearing clip, just over my shoulder stood the same man in the purple hat. He had been watching me long before the bathroom encounter. How long had he followed me? Did he know where I lived? I called the police, but they never found him. I never hiked alone again. But that wasn't the last time I'd find something terrifying hiding in plain sight. The next story proves that sometimes the scariest things aren't ghosts, they're people. Who shouldn't be there at all? Not long after the purple hat incident, my friend Ron and his wife Tina started acting strange. They'd just bought a nice little house in a quiet neighborhood. When I asked how things were going, Ron broke down. He and Tina were convinced the place was haunted. Someone had died in the house before they bought it, a fact that actually lowered the price, but they believed his spirit was still there. Every night, they'd wake up to strange noises like furniture being bumped. Things would go missing. Ron's favorite Miami Dolphins coffee mug vanished from the counter. Worse, they'd been sleeping in hotels because they were too scared to stay home. Ron claimed he'd gone into the basement one night and saw something move in the corner. He hadn't gone back down since. I'm not a believer in ghosts. I thought this was all in their heads. After some convincing, Ron let me check the basement alone. He waited outside, terrified. Tina didn't even want me to go. She thought I'd antagonize the spirit. I laughed that off. The basement was messy, full of boxes and a nasty smell, like body odor, nothing demonic. I shouted for any ghosts to show themselves. Nothing. So just to tease Ron later, I pulled out my phone and started recording a selfie video. "No ghosts down here," I said, turning the camera to show the storage. Then I saw it. In the corner of the screen sat an old man, not a ghost, a living, breathing, sickly-looking man. I shut off the camera and ran. I slammed the basement door shut and held it while calling Ron to get the police. The old man screamed a horrible, wailing sound and tried to push the door open for what felt like 10 minutes. When the cops finally arrived, I let go. The man burst through, screamed in my face so loud I fell over, then ran out the back door. They never caught him. In the basement corner, we found a pillow, a blanket, and Ron's missing mug. Turns out Tina never locked the doors. The man had simply walked in one day and made their basement his home. Now she checks the locks 5 times a night. You'd think after that I'd be more careful. But the scariest thing I ever saw was still waiting. This time, while house-sitting for my rich boss. About a month after the basement incident, my boss asked me to watch his house and dog Max for a few days. Easy money, I thought. The first night went fine. Just me playing video games until late. The second night, around 10 p.m., I took Max for a walk. On my way back, I thought I saw someone standing near the house. It was too dark to be sure, so I brushed it off. At 1 a.m., I went outside to grab my phone charger from the car. A few houses down, a person dressed entirely in black stood perfectly still, just staring. Not walking, not looking at stars, just standing. I ignored it and went back inside. An hour later, I heard a scratching noise. When I looked out the living room window, a figure was right there. They ran as soon as I moved. My adrenaline spiked, but stupidly, I didn't call the police. The next day, My boss said it was probably just neighborhood teens cutting through his yard. He seemed unconcerned. That night, I took Max out again at 11 p.m. This time, I saw the person clearly, standing right by the house. They ran to the backyard as I approached. I searched with a flashlight but found no one. Hours later, I looked out the front window. Under the streetlight across the road, the same black-clad figure stood motionless, facing the house. Then I did the dumbest thing of my life. I walked outside and yelled, "Hello? Can I help you?" No response. I announced I was recording them. The moment I hit record, the person charged at me, full sprint. I ran back inside, slammed the door, and locked it. The doorbell rang twice.